All right. Good afternoon, evening, everyone. Happy Friday. Uh, Happy St. Patrick's Day to anybody who is interested or celebrates St. Patrick's Day. I attempted to wear my green shirt, but I failed to account for the fact that we have chroma key going and it's set to green so that the screen behind me gets cut out. So today I'm going to be a floating head with a Murph logo. Let's go that way. But it is green, nonetheless. If we, this actually update live? Yeah, there we go. You can see I've got green shirt and green screen, but whoops, didn't plan ahead very far. How's it going, C. Grover? Let me minimize this and shuffle a few of these windows around. How's it going, Beata Graph on YouTube? All right. Go to this one. We're good there. All right. How's it going, Deshipu? Hello to everyone. My name is Tim. I go by Foamy Guy on GitHub and Discord. This is the Deep Dive program, which is a weekly live stream program where we are working on CircuitPython related stuff. Sometimes we are in the CircuitPython core, the actual C code that is CircuitPython itself. Sometimes we're working on libraries, documentation, or infrastructure, projects, all sorts of stuff. It just depends week to week what's going on. If you are brand new and you've not caught one of these programs before, you don't know really what I'm talking about when I say any of that, you can learn more at circuitpython.org. This is the main website for the project. CircuitPython is a implementation of Python that runs on tiny computers called microcontrollers. There's a bunch of pictures of them over here on the downloads page at circuitpython.org. These little devices, each one is essentially a tiny computer, and when you plug it into your computer with a USB cable like this one is connected, it will show up as a thumb drive, and you can edit the files on the thumb drive, save the code file, and then it will execute on that device. That's kind of the central core idea of CircuitPython is the device showing up like that as a thumb drive, and you being able to edit the code with whatever text editor you want, save it, and then have it run. If you are interested in learning more about CircuitPython, a couple of things you can do. CircuitPython.org is probably the best place to head to start. Join us on the Discord, which I think is, linked down below, adafru.it/Discord. There's a CircuitPython dev channel, a help with CircuitPython channel, so head there if you are interested in using CircuitPython or joining the CircuitPython community or project, contributing code, or just want to hang out and say hi. CircuitPython is an open source project. It is primarily funded by Adafruit. This is their website, adafruit.com. They are a hardware and software company based out of New York. They manufacture some microcontroller devices as well as some other breakouts and things that you can hook up to your microcontrollers to interact with. So if you want to get yourself some toys, head over to adafruit.com. And then, thank you to Adafruit, of course, for paying all the folks who are working on CircuitPython. And thank you to everybody who wants to purchase hardware from them, because obviously you're helping keep the lights on, helping keep, Adafruit Factory running, which is helping them be able to keep paying the folks who are working the project. So thank you for all of that. Today, I am going to attempt a little bit of core development. For anybody who has followed some of my more recent streams, you might know that I have been struggling a little bit with some hardware issues, in particular that seem to expose themselves when we're working on the core. So I'm going to say, fingers crossed, knock on wood, everybody do whatever your favorite thing for good luck is, because we are going to attempt this and hope that nothing goes too terribly wrong. I will say right up at the top here before we really dive into that, one of the things that was going wrong in the past, hopefully in the past, was that my computer was freezing up. which unfortunately means then the stream is going to cut out and I'll have to kind of reboot and come back and do all of that stuff. So hopefully this will not be happening. Hopefully we have gotten that kind of the worst of it, you know, in the past. But that's one of the things that was happening, so I wanted to give a fair warning. If I do disappear or the stream cuts out or something like that, I will try to get it rebooted and come back as quick as I can, but it may take me a minute, and I'll try to drop a message in the Discord or something like that from my phone if I can as well. So that's the warning on that. Again, fingers crossed. Hopefully we're not going to be needing that. I will say I've had you know, a little bit of okay news on that front, which is I did end up actually getting some new RAM, and I have not had my computer freeze since then, although I think I actually haven't had it freeze since I switched kernels and updated a lot of stuff as well, so it's all kind of anecdotal. Unfortunately, the things that are going wrong are kind of wrong very, very randomly, and so it's difficult to like change a variable and then test again because it's not failing consistently. It's pretty random. So hopefully we're not going to have any locking up, but we'll see how it goes. The thing I do want to work on, which is in the core, is this API inside the web workflow for returning the free space on the device from a URL. The URL that was proposed in here was / device info JSON, I think, disk info JSON, like this. So when web workflow is running, you would open a browser on another device. You would hit this URL with the IP or whatever of the CircuitPython device, and it would return to you a JSON, which is going to tell you how much space is on the disk and how much of that space is available. Yeah, thank you. I went just like probably 5 minutes before I hopped on. I was changing shirts, and I was like, oh, let me grab this green shirt real quick for St. Patrick's Day. That'll be a good idea. And then as soon as I sat down and I loaded up OBS and everything, and I was like, oh, right, yeah. But you guys can see more of the screen this way, which is a nice side benefit. Got like a little piece of hair in my mouth or something. Okay. So I do have a branch for this. Oh, I will say too, in less fun news, I actually I rebooted my computer before I started up the stream today. You know, for luck, basically, for hopefully, you know, try to make it not have any kind of messing up. One of the things I did though is I also went into like the BIOS and changed some setting about memory speed because I thought the memory that I have replaced, like I put in new memory, I thought the speed was different, so I went to the BIOS to change this thing, and then it just wouldn't boot up at all or show me anything on the screen. That was about 20 or 30 minutes ago. So we luckily got it back just in time so that I could actually get everything up and running for the stream from that. So fun times all around on the hardware side for me, but we're hoping for the best here. Where I'm going to start is I actually do have a build already. You all did not see me make the build, but I'm going to use it as my first build because essentially one of the things I'm going to be doing is trying to minimize the number of actual builds that I need to make so that we are rolling the dice less on the computer messing up. And in this build, it should, I believe, have the disk info JSON URL, the endpoint, which maybe I should stop just scrolling. Let's find disk. There it is. So we have the URL, which is going to handle it. That's going to call reply with disk info JSON. Right now, it is hard coded to something else, right? This was just a copy of version JSON, but it should be enough for us to test to see if this part of it is going to work or not. So I don't have the camera set up today. Pretty much everything I'm going to be doing is all just REPL. So we're just going to go through the REPL for now. No desk cam. Honestly, I have a bunch of stuff on my desk as well. Okay, this is on. Just got that connected. Whoops. We'll go to bootloader mode. This is a Feather TFT is what happens to be connected right now, which is what I have a build for. This is like the exact perfect length to where it's on the end and I can't tell if it has a space or not. One of the other things I did, I guess you could say superstitiously, to try to like rule out variables for what was causing my computer troubles was I uninstalled the terminal prompt thing that I was using before called Starship, which would like change this prompt here to have some more interesting, useful information, and generally I think also shorten it, which was nice. I should probably put that back because it turns out that was not really part of my problems, because I've continued to have a little bit more problems after I did that. Although, again, since the last couple of things I changed, I've been at least not freezing, so taking steps in the right direction. So in order for web workflow to be active, I have to also... This is not the right thing to be open. 1 second here. In order for web workflow to be active, you have to have this, I think, which I should not just open here, obviously, because it has my Wi-Fi network in it. And some other stuff, it turns out. Yeah, Chameleonware. Okay, so the code that's on it is unrelated. This was a test for bitmap tools. I don't think it matters what code is on it. It's been a minute since I used web workflow. Let's pull up the Learn guide for web workflow. If we want to save our code, we'll have to do that. I don't think I need to do that yet. I guess really what I need is to be able to know the IP, which the easiest way to know the IP is going to be don't run this code, because this code is going to do stuff with display IO. 121. Okay. Oh. Is there a port? Oh, it went to... yeah. I feel like I've had that problem before, haven't I? I don't think this... I think this never did work for me, unfortunately, the .local thing. I don't know if my network is weird or something. /code. I was usually able to do it from the... See, I think the reason it's failing is it's going to HTTP. Why is it doing that? Yeah. Used to connect. Hmm. Should put this to where I can at least see it. Is there something else we need to put in the... Something else we need to put in this? Settings.toml. Port and password? Could I have changed the port, I guess? Fortunately, we gotta bounce this back because I can't share my settings toml. You don't have a port? Will it not be active? Okay. Still thinks it's on 121. Defaults to 80. Hmm. You know what's interesting? The, oh, a coincidence? Okay, yeah. Hmm. Oh, there we go. I don't know why it wasn't working before, but we made it there. So... Hmm. Is this supposed to be after CP? Yeah. We do it in here. Nice if I could do it in here. I'm failing the same way. Okay, yeah, it doesn't like being open in both browsers either, but there we go, we made it. So this one returns JSON. Theoretically, this one now is existing, disk info, which is mostly the same stuff. Really, the one thing I changed is this is now version 1 instead of version, just because I wanted some kind of change so that I would know that this is actually working. And it turns out it is. So really, what we need to do is use this function that Scott says, f.getFree. How do we actually do this, though? Logical drive number. Let's search the code. Is this used anywhere? Let me have another one of these. Git grep this. No, git grep this. Yeah. Q. This. Okay. Result is fat.c xmod. This, that, go to there, find, oops, what was it? Get free. Get free read only. Is that one? What? Oh, get free. That's actually part of it, because... Oh, it says it calls this get free. Oh, F versus T, I see. F result. Okay, so I have never messed with any of this stuff before. Will I need to do all of this? I will, right? Because... How do I get this passed in? Get the status of VFS. Or is there any way, could we call this method instead? Because this has free available... Where does this come from? Does this get used anywhere? Not really. And just to be clear, this page shows the size of each file, but not the size of the entire directory or anything like that. If you can call os.stat. Should bookmark that, huh? Be a good thing for the bar here. You know, I had the index page bookmarked, actually. That's what I should do, because that one is a bit faster, truthfully. Where was that index? It wasn't this. It was like... This was the one. That. And the status of a file or directory. Status of the file system. Path string. So yeah, we could, if we could just pass like slash probably. Or OS. So that is block size, fragment size, size of FS in these units, number of free blocks, unprivileged, number of inodes, number of free inodes. How does that turn to bytes though? Size of FS. So is that saying 1881 times 512 and then that's the number of bytes? So then how many... that doesn't seem right. Well, okay. Maybe. What if we had kilobytes? Kilobyte? Okay. That's pretty spot on. Fair enough. So then, let's see, back to this. That was total size is number 3, but you have to multiply it by number 2. And that gives you total size in bytes. I thought this device was bigger than that. It's not. Is that the right size? It feels weird about that. I don't have the reverse ones. 4 megs flash. Maybe some of it's used. New URAT compatible digital pot driver heading for the community bundle later today. Nice. Sweet. Cool looking breakout. I do remember something about there being like reserved space or something. Like CircuitPython itself takes up some space, but there's also reserved space or something. I never really looked before, so I'm going to assume that's probably right. It at least matches. Number of free blocks then would be 416 times, again, the 512. 416, whoops. That's interesting. 12 is this, and then this into here is 212 free. Which is pretty close, yeah. 0 block size times total blocks, nice. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at if we can just call that. That'd be pretty nice. Is OS a thing that exists in like shared bindings and shared module and all that, or? Yeah. Should I be trying to call this? I guess not, right? Because this is really the whole intention is to make it exist in Python land. But I should be probably just calling this directly then. But we will need to like unpack the tuple somehow still. All right, so we're going to cut out some of this stuff. We can keep all the top stuff. And then here, the stuff we're going to cut out. Let's keep, I'm going to keep version. I don't know for sure if we'll want to keep that, but I'm going to keep version. I'm going to keep 2 more for total space and free space. I think I'm going to delete the rest. Some of this we need though, huh? Oh man, I do not know if I'm going to cut it off at the right spot. This is tripping me out a little bit for the JSON to be like the commas before the quote, which is super weird, right? So this should just be here? Yeah. So, okay. Should we just say maybe total and free? I just put some fake stuff here. Okay. See if we can see if we did all of that stuff right. No. I think that the issue is that what we had before was a variable. Now we have not a variable, but a literal. So I think like this would get this back into the string. Okay. Need to close the JSON. Oh yeah, shoot. Thank you. Wait, where's it closed in here? Oh. Okay, technically I do still have this down here. So, so we don't. Do we not need all that stuff? Is this... No on the last line? No, we don't need it. Put that at the end of this one, but just gonna fill that in like that for now. This is gonna have extra spaces, I think. And then if we do that, we don't need this. Oh, but we do need this and that. We're not filling in any variables, so we don't have anything after for now, but eventually we'll swap in these two for variables. We'll get rid of this one. So it has this concatenating strings with define string, some string, string. I gotcha. %s d for the substitutes. Since our host name, we have something. Host name set but not used. Host name. We don't need any of this, right? Should I? Not actually that confident about that. Maybe I should comment before Before I delete. Okay, we got a build. Bootloader. Actually, have this back up here. Gonna let it chill for just a second, then push it. How's it going, Keith the EE? Hope your Friday is going well. You too, friend. Thank you. Should I open TO in Sea Lion? Not really doing anything with CodePy. That's one less thing to be running. Wrong one. Nice. Okay. I've not broken anything, which is a good sign. Obviously, we haven't done anything that complex, but those of you that don't know, if you're new, this, like, I'm not really formally trained on C, so I'm kind of just, like, poking around, not quite in the dark, but let's call it dimly lit. Yeah, oftentimes I am doing things that are probably, like, pretty obviously syntax errors, but I don't really know any better yet. We get better over time, though. I feel like I've come a long way since I've been digging around inside CircuitPython. So one thing we could do is get rid of this one for now. Oh, okay. This would be number versus string, which would actually be better to be a number, right? Yeah. Could cut this. Of course, we are gonna be still having to do the substitution eventually. I think I did that part right. Should we... Oh, I did get rid of the version. Should we have the version or no? Drive size is what's expected on a 4 meg without an extended mode, which is the default. Nice, okay. There's some bytes for the bootloader, 1.5, 1.5 for OTA, remainder for CircuitPy. Okay. So we're in the right spot there. I think we'll just go with no version, right? I think it's okay to not have the version because version, like, there's version.json. That's the whole point of version.json. I don't think we need it. So let's make sure that we did this part right, since I cut some more stuff out and I changed those to numbers. I don't know that I would go so far as to say that I've definitely found this for certain yet, but one thing that I think I've found is that not doing clean in between every build maybe helps my computer because it doesn't have to do as much work. I guess it's like saving some of the work it did in the prior builds. I don't know if this is true, but I guess it seems like it doesn't have to compile everything again if you don't do clean. I'm sure at some point it will be messed up for some reason and we'll have to do clean anyway, but for now I'm going to take what I can get and just keep doing builds without clean in between, which also goes way faster, which is pretty convenient as well. Push this. Okay, perfect. We have numbers now instead of strings, and we also got rid of the version. So we are on the right path here. And then I think we want to try probably calling this. But the thing is, we are going to need to catch the object that comes out of it. And because this is not Python, we actually need to know the kind of object that it's going to be. I do not. NP object T. Fair enough. Clean builds help reduce hidden and inconsistent errors, though. That is true, and ordinarily, like, I would be on the side of doing them. But I found that they go faster and that it seems slightly less likely that my computer messes up. And so as long as they are working, I'm going to keep going with them. If we do start getting any kind of weird stuff, then clean will be the first step I try for sure, though. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. As the first troubleshooting step, for sure. So let's see if this even builds. Obviously, we're not using the result at all or doing anything with it, so still nowhere near done, but let's see if it actually does. No. That's a missing semicolon, though, which is not so bad. Still no. Yeah. I've made it the wrong kind of thing somehow. Does this one need to be one of the star ones? No. Do the star ones go at the beginning? See, yeah, as you can tell here, this is like when we start fumbling through the C syntax. No, okay. Let's see. How can I grab? So I would need to know more regex, I guess. How can I find a spot in the code where something creates an MP object T as a variable by calling another function? Hard, isn't it? Name equals. So that's pretty similar in nature to what I'm doing. Maybe my error is not with the variable that I created, but instead with the slash thing? Could this actually be? Or I didn't add any kind of import or anything like that. Oh. I wish these would be clickable. AFK playing with cats, nice. We good at finding wonky. P object T name equals call the function. What's the actual error say? Stat result. Oh, unused. Gosh. Okay, yeah, obviously being silly here. It is difficult though. How can I get a thing out of it? So we need to treat it like a tuple and pull a value out of it. Okay, so this takes an NP object T that it calls XY tuple. Yeah. We want all of this. I think. Yeah, I think so. We're not gonna have XY. And then when we get inside of here, instead of putting these in XY, that's what we'll put in our JSON. So if it equals none, let's just raise an error. Or I guess let's return a JSON error would be a better way to do it, I think, right? This is gonna go in here. Oh, should I have not done that? I probably should have not done that. Okay, if that was none, then we're just gonna say error stat result was none. Except we need these. And this. Okay, if it's none, do that. If it's not a tuple, do this, but we change it. And then here, if it was actually successful, that's where we can get our real stuff out of it. Which is going to be what now? Those were all ints, I think? Or were they floats? They are ints. Are they always going to be ints? The way these have F in their name makes me think they would be floats, but I guess not. Main two we need are these. Well, and this. Or, I guess, maybe blocks. I don't know if we're supposed to use block size or fragment size. In my case, they're the same. I don't know if they will always be the same, though. So let's see if I can pull int block size equals, oops, we have the wrong one of this still here. It's also not going to be 2, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I just... Okay. Put the wrong one in there. There we go. Okay, it is 10. That's block size. Let's try just like that, I think, right? We at least have used our variable now, so we should be able to make a build, I think. Block size. Yeah. Yep. Should have known that one, huh? Okay, let's just try to put it here. You just put it in with no pluses like that? Or should I be using the substitution, maybe? Yeah. That. Some of these are, though, right? Maybe it has to be a string, potentially? We want %d. Okay. Okay. We need to import something for this. Where did I see it being used? Not very many places. Should we import it from there? Bindings instead of shared modules? Yes. I wonder what's disk.io. Okay. So if that works, we'll have 512 as free, which is obviously not the correct number, but it is a number that we got out of our tuple that we got back from calling stat VSF. Yep. Oh, it like rebooted again. Oh. Uh-oh. Boot looping? Oh. Did not print this, not print the, hey, buddy, get down from there. Down. So it did not print this in the REPL, but it says heap allocation when VM not running. Please file an issue with your program. Press reset to exit safe mode. My code doesn't have anything except for imports, it turns out. So did it get to safe mode because of my web workflow thing? Okay, it's currently not in safe mode, and I do see CodePy printed this. It's on the screen. It didn't show up here because it actually printed before TO got connected. I guess we could put a time sleep or something if we wanted to be able to see it, but that's all right for now. So it's not, right now it's not showing safe mode. I'm gonna go to here. That works. CP/version. All right, fingers crossed. Oops. Oh, not version though. We want disk info. No, that crashes it. Yeah, that crashes it all the way to safe mode. We did something wrong for sure. Shoot. The problem is we can't just leave that because then it will fail for having an unused variable. What if we don't do this line? So now we are calling that. We're getting the response. We're checking it for none. We're checking it for if it's an object. We're creating items. We are trying to pull the 10 items out of the stat result, but then we are still just hard code printing our old strings. What exactly is safe mode? Good question. Safe mode is... So, okay. I should say fair warning before I answer. Like, what I am answering is my understanding of safe mode. And I certainly could be wrong. So, like, bear that in mind. Don't necessarily take whatever I say as, like, 100% definitely for sure the exact right answer. Because the truth is I don't know 100% of the way. With that out of the way, my understanding of what safe mode is a separate mode in CircuitPython where it will not execute the CodePy file. So ordinarily in CircuitPython, when the device boots up, the first thing it will try to do is try to find a boot.py file. If it finds that, it will execute the code that's inside of it. Typically, that will cause it to print out this stuff in boot out here. Whether or not you have a bootpy, you'll get this stuff printed out into your bootout.txt. After all that's done, the next thing it will try to do is launch CodePy. In safe mode, it will not launch CodePy for sure. I don't know about bootpy, whether or not it will do that one or not, but it won't launch CodePy. The idea being that it is like a hard crash of the CircuitPython system. Within CircuitPython, you can have code that raises an exception at the Python layer, and then inside your Python code, you can catch that exception, or even if you don't catch that exception, then you will see, inside the REPL, you would see some kind of exception error get raised, get some kind of printout or whatever. Your program will stop running. There will be a traceback inside of here with your exception. That is if the error is like successfully handled by CircuitPython. If the error is so bad that CircuitPython itself can't actually handle it, then the CircuitPython program crashes. When that happens, your device reboots and it goes to safe mode so that it won't execute CodePy. The idea being, the thought being like CodePy is probably what caused it to hard crash. Therefore, we go to safe mode, we don't launch CodePy. That way we're not just stuck in a boot loop of hard crashing. This lets you break the cycle of hard crash, and then it comes back up in safe mode. It doesn't execute. Therefore, you can change CodePy. You can make whatever modifications you need in order to get rid of whatever the code that caused it to hard crash was. Oh, safe mode.py. I've not even messed with that one, actually. Safe mode. That one's relatively new, I believe. But yeah, I haven't even messed with that one at all yet. That's a good point, though. So that's my understanding. It's like a secondary mode. When CircuitPython hard crashes, it will take you to safe mode. I think you can access it yourself too if you press the reset buttons just right. I don't ordinarily do it that way. Usually when I get to safe mode, it's because it hard crashed. Okay. So we made this build. We want to get to bootloader. Copy that. I should have waited maybe an extra second. Okay. So this is going to tell us whether or not whatever I did to hard crash was this, or this part down here and the substituting into here. If the hard crash was a result of these lines or the substituting I was doing down here, then we will not hard crash this time. However, if we do still hard crash this time, we know that either this line or this line, or I guess maybe this line, one of those, is responsible for the hard crash. We are back up. We are on the same IP. So we will validate that we're alive by going to version. And we will try this. Still hard. Okay, that one hard crashed. So we know that it's... Did it? Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Keep allocation when VM not running. Keep allocation. You can also programmatically go to safe mode. Oh, nice. So if you want to reset yourself from code, or if you want to provide your own, like, press this extra button or whatever to get to safe mode. The problem here, though, is I can't build this. Because it will tell me, well, is it unused if I check it in here? Maybe that counts as a usage. I was going to say it will tell me unused variable. It won't actually. So my next guess is maybe that we're not supposed to pass a string like this. My next guess is going to be maybe we're supposed to be passing like a MP object string or something that's not just a literal C string like this. And this will kind of hopefully rule that out for us, because if we still go to safe mode, then we know that this is actually the line that's causing it. And bootloader, copy that. That actually made it. Okay, 21, so we're back up there. We are gonna just go back and forth again just to like validate it's actually alive and working, that much of it. Nope, still crashed. Okay, I think we're probably not supposed to be passing a string like that. And so the other place where this gets used is in shared bindings, where it passes const char path. Yeah, we need to do this. Buddy, don't climb the window, please. How's it going, DJ Devin? Use this only... E string, get string. Oh, this wants a object. So this one takes MP object T path in. You have to be seconds. How do I get my literal C string to be a Python string? This gets used on arguments a lot. Doesn't typically get used on a hard-coded thing. Do object. This makes me think we will get the right... Are we gonna get the right thing out? Simple night, dreaming of a way to create 10-inch supple for mailbox. Python literal string? Gonna be that easy? I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe though. Python? I've never seen a thing that says Python like that. This is the old code. Or... Oh. Path is unused. Okay. Oh, I see. It's gotten a lot farther than I would have thought. Okay, there we go. I was gonna say. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised it wasn't just like, I don't know what Python is. I think we're going the wrong way. We need to get it to an object T. So take we need to take a literal string and turn it into an object T. Where is the place where all of the helpful functions for this are at? I don't remember. Like, where's this defined? My object string? Try turning it off and on again. Oh, I don't know. Chat, it doesn't know things. The only thing it knows is which words are commonly together in the data that it consumed. Chances that it creates an answer that's relevant and helpful in the real world, knowing only which words are more likely to be together in the code or in the text that it consumed, I think fairly small for the most part. What's that pi object? Print quoted. String print. String make new. Bytes make new. Index the pointer. Substring. String join. String split. String right split. String finder. String find, string rfind, string index. R index starts with, ends with, unistrip, string strip, L strip. Format helper. Where is a place in the code where it would convert a literal string into an MP object T? String format. Replace. Copy. The obj new string. Const. Ah, yes, that looks promising. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Path O, object new string, path out. Path O goes to here. Thank you. Nice, Ben. I don't know how you found that. That does look right to me. Signs point to yes. Nice. Thank you, my friend. Whoop, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, what are we doing? It's back. So we're still in the version where it's like, it's back to being hard-coded. We're not actually going to see the fruits of our labor here, or I guess to put it another way, if we are successful, the only thing that happens is we don't hard crash and go to safe mode, but we do still get our hard-coded response that's not actually the real data. But one step at a time. Okay. Fingers crossed. Now, still crashed. I feel like we're much closer, though. I do feel like we're much closer. Hmm. I'm just gonna get rid of that line. Use variable. Python pi object h. Okay. This will tell us if we successfully created path O. That did not crash. It did not print, which means that it wasn't none. We need this actually. We need a const char pointer. Oh, but this will get us to that. Are we like? Are we taking an unnecessary trip through MicroPython object? Can we take a string and get a const char asterisk, which I think means something with pointer? C string. Do we need to put it in a variable? Yeah, that may work. I'm curious though. That feels like we're going from string to MicroPython object and then from MicroPython object to constant char thing. That's weird. Path string set but not used, but literally the next line uses it. Should I have done string and not str? Set but not used. It's not true because I don't think I can do this. Doesn't matter anyways, because it still thinks path string is unused. But why is it not doing this? Now path is unused. Am I supposed to do... Okay. Maybe I have path. Type int. And if I turn this off, then it will say path string is unused. Int. I don't know why it counts as unused, though. Yeah. Um... Maybe we don't want this. Well, first of all, the way I created my string was way different anyway. This feels wrong, right? I feel like this is probably stupidly simple, and I am completely showing how I have no real understanding of C. An interesting syntax. So I don't know, is standard string, I guess, is that what we have? Is that what this is? Is this a standard string, std : string? Why does this not count as a usage? It feels silly that I'm like trying to make a pretend usage to get it to compile. This has to be the wrong path, right? I guess I could go back to doing the object. I feel like we now that I have seen this though, I feel like we shouldn't need the object. But I guess at least it was working, maybe? Man. Wish I could just do this, but I don't think you can, right? Okay. Excuse me? What's the one I copied from first? really. It's like not existing. Okay, I guess we go through object land. I don't know, it feels like we shouldn't have to. I'm guessing that we don't have to, but I don't know how. Get string. Yeah. I will agree to that. What if we say C plus convert literal string to const char? Part of it is I don't know if that's the thing I have or not, right? I don't know if that's what a literal string is, which I'm sure, like, obviously that's a very, 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 very basic component of the language. I'm obviously missing, but I just don't know. That's actually what a literal string is. A lot of these say C++. Makes me think, is that relevant to us or not? Interesting. One calls it a string. Interesting. This makes me think a constant char is a string. Version. Fingers crossed. Hard crashed. How's it going, Axel? I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I don't think const is a type by itself. I think it's like a modifier or whatever. I don't know the right term. Truth is, I don't know anything about it. What I know about it is like kind of attributed from Java. I doubt really carries over the way it does in my head. But I mean, it's like a modifier. You would say const and then the type of your variable and then your variable name. So it's like modifier for the type. Basically means it can't change after you set it. I think it's a char and a const is limiter on how the memory is managed. Didn't crash. Printed the slash. So we have a const char star path char. We printed it. It definitely has a single slash in it. But if we pass it to common hal os stat vfss, we get a hard crash. I think we have to do something with this or else it can't compile. Is there a way I can ignore? Is there a way I could ignore unused variable? It'd be nice if I could compile anyway. Because like now I need to basically make a fake usage just to be able to compile, but the truth is really what I want to know right now is, does this line cause the hard fault? I don't want to do anything with the result or anything else. All right, BRB. Okay. Yeah. I like to be able to build without it, though. I could sprinkle in some more prints, but I'd like to be able to build with unused variables. So I'm thinking that we're not allowed to call this. Kind of thinking we're not allowed to call this. I think maybe inside of here, we're like, are we outside the CircuitPython venv? I feel like maybe web workflow in here is like outside the CircuitPython venv, and then maybe we're not allowed to use this because of that. Like maybe we are creating the right kind of thing and passing it in. And in fact, maybe even just this technically would be enough, but we're not allowed to call this. because we're not actually inside the virtual environment. That's my theory right now. Unused var. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to leave it there forever and ever and ever and ever. I want to I want to make one build with it just so that I can like not have code whose literal only intention in life, like this code will not make it into the final one. The literal only reason this code exists is to make the compiler happy because we pretended to do something with this. But this gives us like an extra failure point, right? Like I would love to write my code and run it just this way, knowing this is unused, but just being able to test, like, do we get that far? Without having to add that code that's like basically just cheating, right? Like I'm using it for the purpose of making the compiler happy. For no other purpose. Hard crashed. And what it says when it hard crashes is keep allocation when VM not running. Keep allocation when VM not running. So I'm starting to think we just can't call this function from web workflow. I mean, I think the VM is running, so I think the error message is not entirely telling us exactly what's going on, but I think it's implying that we tried to do something from outside the VM. This is the thing we tried to do, presumably that made it crash. I'm thinking we're just not allowed to do that from here. So I guess we need to look maybe in shared module or wherever this came from. Shared module. This just turns around and calls that. BFS. Yeah, and I think this error message also is one that's not generally probably seen by users. This feels like not the right answer, but I also don't know though, right? Like, okay, path out, I guess. Hmm. Is doing state VM stuff here though? This time it's building a lot more stuff. Use variable. Implicit declaration, so we would have to include that if we wanted to use it. But I don't know where it came from. See, this is also in shared module OS. So if we're not allowed to use the OS stuff, then I think this is not actually going to work. Maybe this? BSF? BFS? Is that one of the ones imported here? Okay. No, though, right? Like, we're allowed to use supervisor. What is FAT? What is in here? Is there anything useful in here? This implicit declaration. Why does it think it's defining a function, though? We're calling a function. Safe mode GC alloc outside VM, yeah. So I do think that's like, I think I'm on the right track there. I think we did something we're not allowed to. Allocate memory or allocate something, I guess. Heap allocation. And I think the truth is that it's not that VM's not running, it's that where we tried to do the allocation from was not inside. I think that's kind of like my theory there. Has to do with web workflow. Would it need something? No, we're not even. The string that we give it, I don't think so, I guess. I can't really rule it out, I suppose, but I don't think so. I think this is a matter of, like, I don't think it's a matter of we gave it the wrong string. I think it's either we gave it the wrong kind of thing altogether. Like, for a while I was trying to give it an object versus a string versus a const char or whatever. I think I have figured out it's supposed to be a const char, but maybe I'm still wrong. So, like, maybe we're giving it the entire wrong kind of thing, or the other option in my head right now is that we're giving it the right kind of thing, and it would be working if we were calling it from inside the VM. But I'm guessing, like, does web workflow exist outside the VM? I feel like web workflow probably exists outside the VM, right? Because it doesn't, it runs independent of CodePy and all the rest of the stuff. And so I'm thinking that right now I'm passing the right kind of thing, potentially even passing the right string as well, but we're not allowed to actually call the function we're calling from outside the VM, and we are outside the VM. I think this is all hypothesis. Yeah, it's nice when it works. I was feeling like it was a lot nicer about a month ago before I started having any kind of problems with it. I will tell you that. That FS. File system CircuitPy? That FS. Maybe? I don't know. +3 seems odd. I could control click. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what this is creating. Maybe. That one's a definite maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know what's wrong with it, otherwise I would fix it, but I'm feeling like it's hardware, which has definitely soured me a little bit on the company that I bought the hardware from. Maybe it's not, though. Maybe it's software. So one thing I will say, these are using like F underscore, which is similar to what Scott put. Fat FS. So Yeah, I don't know what this means. But I think that you're probably on the right track because a lot of these, like F openeder, right? Where's another one? There's some more in here. F rename. F unlink. So it does feel like this would be the thing that we would pass to here as the third variable. Path, I guess, would be just our slash, but I don't know what goes here. Turns F result. Don't know what to put there. And then I don't know what to do with this result object to get stuff out of it. See if it compiles. Yeah. It's snappy, I will say. When it's working, it's pretty snappy. And it till more recently here, it can do a lot of things all at once and doesn't really get too mad about it. Like I said, I was super happy with it. I'll say, like, I was definitely super happy with it. Could perhaps get back to being super happy with it if we can. Once I am a little more certain that some of the weirdness is in the past. So, unsigned int, but argument is const char, yeah. Unsigned int. Number of free clusters. Could I put 512? That seems random, right? Number of free clusters. How would you know that? See, this is weird. This says it gets the number of free clusters. The store. Maybe that's where the result goes? Is that where the result goes? What's a D word? We don't need this stuff anymore right now. This is actually technically part of our other attempts. Out? Oh, okay, it's out, I see. I don't know if that's the right way to do it. Oh, maybe unused result, okay. Unused result, jeez, I don't know, how am I gonna even use it? I don't know what you do with it. Where's next? What is this? Why is this so long? What is wrong with this? This is like wonky. Where's the rest of it? Just that. I didn't see that. We could do this. It's like a good thing to do with it. I don't know if I actually need to put something in here for it to count. Too many arguments. But got int. Expected D word, aka unsigned int. But got int. This looks like a different signature. Many arguments. Seems wrong, right? Seems like different. Seems like different signature. So we would not need the slash. Instead, it's just fs and the output thing. And they are actually in the other order, strangely. Did that wrong. Okay. I don't know how to make. Can I just make D word? Or D word star? Uninitialized. Unsigned int. Okay. Okay. What version are we actually on here? Like, what does this actually do? So this will just print hooray if it was successful. And it will still put the hard-coded one of these out. Okay. If we see hooray, then it actually did at least not puke, which is a step in the right direction, even if perhaps a small one. So hard crashed. It has a different message now. It says fault detected by hardware. This one. Well, I think we're probably giving up for right now. What? I guess because I highlighted something. Let's look here. Maybe I need and? Maybe I need ampersand. Let's go look. What is it? Okay, that's pretty close. This is different. But it does look like we want that. And then maybe we could get by without this. And this. Like it built at least. Nothing writing memory where it shouldn't be. Yeah, very possibly. Would not be surprised. Unfortunately, I'm a bit of a bull in the china shop, so to speak, with C code. Like, not really knowing, like... like, treating this one that was here as an asterisk and this one as an ampersand and not having a clear picture of why they would or wouldn't need it, I think makes it very likely for me to tell the CPU to do something that's probably not very good for it to do. I'm guessing is how we got to the hard fault. Okay, fingers crossed. Ready. Yes, it didn't hard crash, and we got a result. Did it print hooray? It did. Okay, are we actually so close? So then if we went, I want to keep this one. I kind of want to keep this one. Do I? Maybe not. No, it's fine. We could copy it from here if I needed it. %d 3 clusters? What was it? Whoops. Okay, looks like it's gonna build. Copy. Now, go back to version. It's ready. How are we gonna get total though? This is only giving us one number. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Come on, buddy. Hold on, hold on. Let me get it out of there, because play with it. This is backup version. Disk info. Didn't crash, and it returned 416. Was that? Indeed it was. Okay. So if we multiply 416 by 512, that is going to give us the number of bytes free. Times 512. But I don't know how we would get total. Or if we can get total. Is there a different thing than get free? Maybe there's like get space or size. Oh. I was like, why is nothing happening? Didn't copy it. Got it. Okay. So that is our number of free bytes. I wish there was like size? Why this? Oh, it's get free. Okay. Volume management. I mean, get size feels like a winner, right? Or, well, it was just size, I think. It wasn't get size. Size. But that's the size of a file. Those are the only things that say size. That says space. Something else says space. Oh, only one match. Hmm. Well, I don't know. For the 512, there must be some literal for the block size. So, maybe. Maybe on the one that's doing the size of the files? Was something doing the size of the files? This is my code, though. Commented all this out. Is it different on different boards, though? I think when the file name is slash, it means volume. So maybe we could use size with slash. Okay, so that handles delete request. That handles move request. This handles get request. Name directory, it doesn't have the size. Modified, file size. File info.size. File info came from this, seemingly. Hmm. How does... So this was me typing FS and pressing enter. It returned an HTML document. On that HTML document, it contained a load for this, for this, for this. This made a request to the exact same URL, but it got a different type of response. How did it know? How did it... How did it get a different kind of thing? Is there a dot? No. Maybe get or post? But it shows get on both. Method get there and method get there. It has accept type as JSON. Can the server return different stuff based on the accept header? Really? Okay. I think I'm gonna call it for now. Usually I go about 2 hours. It's been about 2.5, so I'm ready to definitely get up and walk around and do some other stuff. Hmm. Equals slash. Interesting. Returns the list, that's the API. Yeah, but I don't, from the web programming perspective, I don't understand how it works because my browser made a GET request to /fs/. That GET request returned this HTML page. On that HTML page, it loaded this JavaScript and this CSS and this icon and this JSON here. And then part of the JavaScript inside of here also made a GET request to /fs/, which is the same address as this. This made a request to the same address, but it got a different response, but a different kind of response as well. Obviously, the first one was HTML, whereas this one was JSON. Ah, there you go, yeah. Oh, I probably just wrecked the, yeah, I totally did. Let me fix that. Done that, I guess. Fortunately, it's tough to read without, I suppose. Response await, fetch. Oh, that's passing those headers. You can read the JavaScript. Yeah, but I didn't, but like on the server side, I mean, first of all, I didn't know the server side could have different behavior for those different accepts, for one thing. But even if that's possible, maybe is this checking for it somehow? Where is this at? In state header value. I don't see anywhere where it has that logic though. Like I don't get in the server side and the code in here, I don't get how it managed to draw a distinction between this first request here, where it returned this HTML, and then this request down here, which came from fetch inside the JavaScript, where it returned JSON. Maybe this bit that we were just on was the magic, though. This is like setting it into a header string. Maybe somehow this... No. Well, this is if it ends with JSON. So in our case, it doesn't. It's /fs. Where was that other one? This one. Maybe somehow this is the logic, I guess? I don't really follow it. Maybe this is somehow making it so that if the accept was application JSON, then it's going to know to return that JSON API one rather than the actual HTML. This is request JSON. Developer tools isn't showing the headers. It shows the headers. That's good. And then content type, I mean, it is, well, that's a response header though. Accept would be the, but it is, I mean, the accept header is definitely one of the differences between the two requests. It's just I don't see any code in here that's like if accept equals application JSON, then return this thing, else if accept equals, you know, text HTML, then return this other thing. I don't see that logic really in here somewhere. Maybe this, I guess, but this is looking at the end of the file name. In our case, we don't have a file name, just fs/. There's nowhere else where this is at. And the only place where this exists is those spots we already saw. None of which to me seem like an if statement that's doing that. I mean, this one would be the ending of the file, so we're not using that one right now. Somehow maybe this, I guess, is doing it. You were just on a search request JSON. Shoot. Request JSON. Okay. Apply static. That one would be the HTML. Okay. This is request JSON. Is that the body? Load in the body. Okay. Makes sense. Thank you. What's the MIME types of the files? Yeah. It's JSON. So is this, it turns into just a Boolean, I guess, request JSON? Which ultimately maps back to that accept, I guess. Okay. I'm going to call it for now. We did get the free space. I think what I'm probably going to end up doing is submitting a PR with the free space and not the total. Oh. See any responses anymore. .404. Does it only work once? Recursion for question mark? Not sure what you mean. What have I done? I've wrecked it somehow. It's broken now. I don't always get 404. I'm getting a response from the web server, but it's 404. Well, how did we... Man, okay. Missing CP? Thank you. There we go. Okay. CP. Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it. I think you could get the total with something like this. I will have to try it later. fstat on path. fno. I will try it out. So to wrap it up, I will say I will not be streaming at the normal time tomorrow. Ordinarily, I stream at 10 a.m. Central Time on Saturdays, which is tomorrow, but I won't actually be streaming at that time tomorrow. I think I will be streaming, but it will be later in the day sometime, and I don't have the exact time. So unfortunately, if you want to catch tomorrow's stream, the best advice I could give you is just keep an eye on the live broadcast chat channel, and I will drop links in there when I get started. But I have other plans for the morning, so I won't be around at 10 a.m. to stream, but I am planning to stream later in the day once the rest of my plans are over. Those numbers are different. Drat. That means we need to figure out how to get that somehow. So that's something else we have to do. I don't know how to find it though. It's interesting there are different fat types too. I thought they all would use the same. I didn't know that would be different. Definitely interesting. So we need to try to do the total, and then we need to figure out how to get that 512 versus the 1024 versus the whatever. We need to figure out how to get that programmatically so that we can then multiply it to get to our bytes. I will, whenever I do stream, I think probably keep working on this. So if you're interested in seeing the rest of this when I give this a try, thank you to, who is this? Isaac Ben. Thank you to Isaac Ben for posting this code, which might get us the total here. That is probably what I'll try when I do pop on the stream tomorrow, which again will be not at the normal time of 10 a.m. Central Time. Instead, it will be later in the day. But that is it. Thank you for everybody who has been watching. I appreciate all of you watching along and hanging out. I especially appreciate those of you in the chat who are helping me out. Anecdata, Nerodoc, Isaac Ben, DJ Devon, C. Grover, Keith, really everybody. I appreciate you all in the chat. Definitely the folks who are helping me out, because as you could see, I was very much fumbling my way through it. And without help from the chat, I probably wouldn't have made it as far. So definitely super appreciate it. I will see you all later. I hope everyone has a good night. I will see you tomorrow if you want to tune in. Just remember, though, like I said, a bunch of times already, sound like a broken record, I'm sure. It will not be at the normal time, 10 a.m. It will be later in the day. So have a good night, everybody.